Hello everyone and welcome to Control Engineering Tutorials. In this How to Control Engineering tutorial, you will learn how to properly transform differential equations to transfer functions. But before we start, let's provide an answer to the following question. Why would you do that? Well, first principle models of systems are often derived in the form of differential equations, such as Newton laws, fluid dynamic laws, and thermodynamic laws. However, for control design, we often need to transform differential equations into appropriate forms. Namely, to derive controllers for systems, we have at least two approaches. The first approach is the state space approach. This approach deals directly with the differential equation by transforming it into a system of first-order differential equations and then deriving controllers. And the second approach that we will cover in this video tutorial is the Laplace or frequency domain approach. This approach converts a differential equation to the complex Laplace domain and later to a frequency domain. The starting point for the second approach is to first transform a differential equation to a transfer function. We have noticed that people often use transfer functions without properly understanding the definition. Here is the definition of a transfer function. Consider this block diagram. Ws is a transfer function of a system, U of s is the input, and Y of s is the output in the complex Laplace domain. The transfer function Ws of a system is defined as the ratio of the Laplace transform of the output Y of s to the Laplace transform to the input U of s, assuming all initial conditions are set to 0. And mathematically speaking, W of s is Y of s over U of s. In this definition, U of s is the Laplace transform of the time domain input signal U of t, Y of s is the Laplace transform of the time domain output signal Y of t, and s is the complex frequency variable. A very important thing to keep in mind over here is the transfer function is derived under the assumption that all initial conditions are set to 0. That is, the transfer function does not capture initial conditions. Always keep in mind this thing. To explain how to transform a differential equation to a transfer function, we consider this example. This is the third order differential equation. And let's first explain the notation. Y is the output and U is the input. Y dot is the first derivative of the output with respect to time. Similarly, U dot is the first derivative of the input with respect to time. Y double dot is the second derivative of the output with respect to time. U double dot is the second derivative of the input with respect to time, and similarly Y with the triple dot and U with the triple dot are the third derivatives of the output and the input. Next, let's introduce the following notation. Capital Y of S is the Laplace transform of the time domain signal Y of t. The Laplace transform operator is described like this. Similarly, capital U of s is the Laplace transform of the time domain signal U of t. The main tool for converting this differential equation to a transfer function form is the following equation, namely Laplace transform of nth derivative of the output, where the nth derivative is denoted like this, is given by this formula. It is equal to s to the n Laplace transform of the time domain signal Y of t, which is denoted like this, and then we have this residual part that depends on initial conditions. We have minus s to the power n minus 1 Y of 0. Y of 0 is the time domain signal at the time instant 0, that is, this is initial condition. Then we have a train that looks like this. S to the n minus 2 y first derivative at 0, that is the initial condition for velocity. Then we go further, minus s y n minus 2 derivative of the time domain signal at 0, and then finally we have minus y to the power n minus 1, where this is the n minus 1th derivative evaluated at 0. And this formula is used to transform this equation to a transfer function form, where we are going to neglect or set to 0 all these terms that depend on the initial conditions. And this is very important to keep in mind. And following this reasoning, we will have that Laplace transform of the n derivative of the output is simply equal to s to the power n y of s. Following this line of reasoning, we will have the following. Laplace transform of y dot will simply be s multiplying y of s, and we will have the Laplace transform of the second derivative of y will simply be s squared y of s. The fact that we are neglecting here the initial conditions follows from the definition of the transfer function, since the transfer function is defined as the ratio of the Laplace transforms of the output and input for 0 initial conditions. That is, all the initial conditions, first derivative, 0 derivative, until the nth minus 1 derivative should be equal to 0. The first step when transforming a differential equation to a transfer function is to apply the Laplace transform operator to both the left hand and right hand sides of this equation. So let's do that. If you apply the Laplace transform operator to the left hand side of this equation, we will obtain Laplace of y triple dot plus 3y double dot plus 4y dot minus y is equal to the Laplace transform of u plus 5u dot plus 6u double dot. The next step is to use one very nice property of the Laplace transform operator. Namely, the Laplace transform operator is a linear operator. Linearity means the following. If you have two signals, x and y, then their Laplace transform, that is the Laplace transform of x plus y, is equal to the Laplace transform of x plus Laplace transform of y. What happens if you have a minus sign? Well, if you have minus sign, the same rule applies. You will only have minus over here. Next, we have the following nice property. If a is a constant that multiplies the x or y signal, then this constant can get out of the Laplace transform operator. So we will have Laplace of a multiplying x is equal to a Laplace of x. And these two properties are the consequence of the linearity of the Laplace transform operator, and we will use them in the sequel. Next, we can write. The linearity enables us to write the following. Laplace transform of y triple dot, then we will have plus 3 Laplace transform of y double dot, then we will have plus 4 Laplace transform of y dot, then we will have minus Laplace transform of y is equal to. The same principle applies to the right hand side, that is, it applies to the input. We will have Laplace transform of u plus 5 multiplying Laplace transform of u dot, and we will have plus 6 Laplace transform of u double dot. Next, keep in mind that whenever you evaluate the Laplace transform, for computing the transfer function, you will neglect the initial conditions. So let me show you this on the case of Laplace triple dot. So we have Laplace of the triple dot is equal to, if we blindly apply the formula, we will have s to the power 3, then we will have the Laplace transform ys, and then we will have this train of powers of s that depend on initial conditions. So we will have minus s to the power 2, multiplying the initial condition in the time domain, 0, minus s multiplying first derivative at 0, and minus second derivative at 0. Since when we compute the transfer function, we neglect or set to 0 all the initial conditions, so these terms are set to 0, we simply have s to the power 3 y of s. And by using the same principle, we will have that Laplace transform of y double dot simply becomes s to the power 2 y of s, and the Laplace transform of y dot simply becomes s y of s. The same principle applies to inputs. We will simply have the Laplace transform of u dot is simply s multiplying u of s, and the Laplace transform of u double dot is simply s squared multiplying u of s. And consequently, we will have s to the power 3 y of s plus 3s squared y of s plus 4s y of s minus y of s is equal to u of s. Then we will have plus 5s u of s plus 6s squared u of s. Next, we can group the terms together. So we will have on the left-hand side s to the power 3 plus 3s squared plus 4s minus 1 multiplying y of s is equal to, on the right-hand side, we will have 1 plus 5s plus 6s squared multiplying capital U of s. And finally, our transfer function is w of s is equal to the ratio of y of s over u of s, and as the consequence we have that this is equal to, this term will go on one side, the other term will go on the other side, and consequently we will have the following. Over here in the numerator we will have 1 plus 5s plus 6s squared, and in the denominator we will have s to the power 3 plus 3s squared minus, or actually plus 4s minus 1. And that's it. People who are experienced and who are more advanced in control engineering principles will simply neglect the initial conditions, and based on the basis of this differential equation, they will immediately write this polynomial in the denominator, and the polynomial over here will be written in the numerator, and that's it. However, since you're learning control engineering, go step by step, and always keep in mind that the Laplace transform operator is a linear operator, since it will help you in your further studies of control engineering principles. That's why it's very important to learn this example and to learn all the steps thoroughly.